Okay, good morning to you this wonderful morning. Okay, I remain Zealous Benjamin, also known as Facilitator Zeal. Sorry that my face might not be clear enough because of the timing I'm doing this video or this training. Okay, at first I want to thank God for life, and I want you to take whatever we're going to discuss here so serious. First and foremost, I want to say it is indeed a privilege to have you participate in this training. On this training, we'll be looking at Google Form and the different categories of Google Form, and also I'll be taking you the steps of developing one for yourself, depending on the category you will want. So I'll be taking you through this process within a very short time. And don't forget, this is just a basic training on Google Form. The advanced training is also available if you want. And when you book for the advanced training, you decide how the training should be done. Should it be done virtually or should it be recorded? However you want it to be done. Okay, quickly, this training will last for not more than 30 minutes. To last for not more than 30 minutes. So I want you to pay brief attention to what we'll be looking at. Okay. At this point, let me share my screen so that I can commence the training. Okay. Okay, let me go here. First, this is what we'll be looking at. Basic Google Form training. That's what we'll be looking at. And in this training, I'll be taking you how to work with Google Form. And the next thing we'll be looking at is things you can develop with Google Form, the different type of forms that you can develop using Google Form, the method that you can use to start developing a quiz, because developing a quiz in Google Form is our focus. After that, we'll look at the steps involved in developing a quiz. And after that, we'll also look at how you can then analyze your results and responses from your developed quiz, when people must have responded to your quiz or when people must have answered your question. Okay, I want you to look at what I have on the screen. On the screen here, you will see to work with Google Form is only possible with a computer. What that means is as we'll be going through this training, you will discover that you cannot access Google Form with your phone. Okay, Google Form is actually an integration in your Google account. It is an app developed by Google, integrated into your Google account. So if you have a Gmail account, you already have access to Google Form without opening a special account again. Okay, but the truth is you cannot access this Google Form with phone. You can only access Google Form with a computer, either a laptop or a desktop, or better still, a palm top, which in short, the most convenient way to access it is by using either your laptop or your desktop. Okay. Now, I also want you to know that it is not all about developing a Google Form. It is all about you being able to analyze your Google Form to get your response as at when required. Or else we'll go from time to time, you discover that you can actually receive notification with your phone based on the form you've developed so far. When people fill the form, you get a notification that somebody has responded to the form. But the truth is you cannot analyze the form with the use of your phone. That's why your computer is very, very important. So quickly, we'll be going into the steps to accessing your Google form. And the first step here is you have to open your browser. When you open your browser, you sign into your Google account. If it is a system you've been using often, your Google account should have been signed in already. Okay. Now, when you've signed in, you open a new tab on your browser. It is advised you open a new tab on your browser. When you open the new tab on your browser and it is fully loaded, at the extreme right part of it, you have to locate the Google Apps icon. The Google Apps icon is always filled of 9 dots, 9 clustered dots, okay, in a square form. Now, when you click on it, you have to locate Google Form and open the Google Form. After that, we'll then be looking at the other steps. Okay, quickly, let's go into the practice. This is my Google, my browser. And the browser, you can see, you can either use your Google browser, you can use your Mozilla, you can use any of the Google browser that you feel is more convenient for you to use. Okay. Now, I haven't opened it. Like I said, you have to sign in this browser. My account is not signing, so let me locate the browser that my account is fully signed in. Okay. All right. In this browser, my account is fully signed in. So what I will quickly do, like I already mentioned, this is my browser. And at the extreme right, you see it, Google Apps, close to your account icon. You see Google Apps. When you click on Google Apps, you have to drag down. There are so many apps integrated to your Google account. You know, in one of my training on Google applications, I taught people how to use most of these applications for their training, for their office use. Okay. But our concern here is form. Now, this is form here. You have to locate the form. Now, when you locate the form, you click on it by double clicking. When you double click on the form, you wait for it to load. You wait for it to load. Okay, now Google form has been loaded. Quickly, let's go to our training guide again to see where we are now. Now, I say locate and open the Google form. Now that Google form is now open, there are things you must know. Now we are about to developing a Google form. Now, things you can develop with Google form. This is already Google form open. There are a lot of things that you can develop. You can develop a contact form. A contact form is a form whereby you develop for the purpose of getting people's contact. In that contact form, they can fill their name, they can fill their phone number, they can fill their email address, they can fill their residential address, address 1, address 2, and all the basic informations that regards to their contact, their office address, and whatsoever. That is based on contact form. You can also do event registration form. You can also develop an event registration form. Maybe you are doing a wedding and you are saying those that will come for the wedding are those that are only invited. So you develop the registration form for that event and you send them the link. Now, when you send them the link, they fill the form. The form could contain things like their name, their favorite food, are they allergic to any food, contacts that pertains to the event, information that pertains to the event you are inviting them to. Now, you can also do a survey form. A survey form are those, sometimes when you open your Chrome or your browser, you begin to see some things pop up when do you want to make 1 million? You click on it. When you click on it, they'll be asking you some question. How old are you? You answer. What is your favorite color? How much do you want to make? These are called survey forms. Survey forms are just like a simple question and answer form that doesn't carry a mark, but as you submit, the developer of that form receive notification based on information. It's just like a a questionnaire, just like a questionnaire with a targeted motive or a targeted vision. There are a lot of things that can be integrated into all these forms that I've explained. You can also develop a questionnaire for those of us that do projects. After typing your questionnaire, you develop it in a Google form, and you can send to people that are not close to you. Those people will fill the questionnaire online and return back the form to you. When they fill it, you get their response, and from there you can analyze the response you've gotten being your result. Now, exam question like theory questions. For instance, you're a teacher and you have students that are very far away from you. You can develop an examination question. The examination question in theory form, like normally, questions like describe or enumerate. Okay, question like enumerate the difference between this and that. Questions like explain, questions like outline, questions like list, and question like what is. So the theory questions are basically without options. They are basically without option. Now you can also develop a quiz questions, objective with mark. These quiz questions are questions that comes with when you ask the question, you give them options to choose from. They are objective questions. Now they can choose multiple, they can choose either a single, depends on how you developed your questionnaire to be. And this questionnaire, you can assign mark to it. So when they as they keep answering this, before they answer a question, they see the marks they will be able to get from the question if only they answer the questions correctly. Now, there are a lot of things you can do, a lot of things you can develop with Google Form. Sometimes people send you a link and say, okay, federal government is giving free so data, filling your details. Those things are being developed with Google Form. There are other applications that you can use in developing these things as well. But the basic and free tools you can use is Google Form. Okay, now method of starting to develop your Google Form. Methods of starting to develop your Google Form. Okay, before then, I want you to know that Google Form is basically a method of collecting information from your clients, customers, prospects, your students, your boss, or whosoever. It can also be your team member. Now, there are three methods you can use to start developing a quiz. Remember, our focus here is developing a quiz. Okay, now first you can convert a regular developed type of Google form. What I mean is you can convert your contact form to a quiz form. You can convert your event registration form to a quiz form. You can convert any of the already developed form into a quiz form. You can also use pre-developed templates. Okay, you can also use pre-developed templates. You can also build from your blank form. Okay, but our focus today, because of time and because we are not in advanced training, I'll be teaching you how to use a pre-developed template. In the advanced training, we'll talk more on how to convert from one type of form to another, or from one type of form to quiz. Okay, now quickly we'll go into the steps to developing a quiz form, a quiz Google form. Okay, that's the next thing we're going to do. Aside the steps, I think we started some steps earlier as listed before now, which we've done the practical, and we are already in Google form. We've opened the Google form. Now, having opened Google form, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to choose the method we want to use in developing our quiz. And the preferred method I've mentioned is to choose from a template. Okay, after choosing from a template, the next thing you have to do is to name or rename your form. Now, you name or rename your form. If you're choosing from a template, when you choose from a template, the form name automatically becomes the form you choose from the template. So you can now rename it to your preferred form name, depending on what you're working on. In the practical session, we'll talk more on that. Okay, now the next thing is you have to describe your form. Now, describing your form is when you open some of this form, you see things like federal government giving 2 million to qualify to qualify citizens and all that. These are the description people add to their form, like a caption of the form. So once anybody opens the form, even before people open the form, you see the description attached to the link of the form. Okay, that's very, very important for you to do. After this description, you can start building your quiz form. After building, you have to save. After saving the form, you can then generate a link. The form, when you save, the form automatically generates a link where you can share. There are two types of link. You can do embedded link, like the embedded link, or you can do your shareable, clickable link. Okay. Now, after that, the next thing we'll be looking at is how to analyze your response. So quickly, let's move into practical. We've gotten into this stage. Now, remember, I said our choice will be getting from template. So when you look at here, you see, okay, when you open the form, there are things you see. There are things you see, okay? You see here Google form. Okay, you see here Google form. I wanted to pick a tool that I will be using for demonstration. Okay, that aside, quickly. Now, when you open your Google form, you see here, you see main menu. This main menu is where you go to access other tools. It's where you go to access other tools like Google Documents, Google Sheets, Slides, and all that. Okay. I also have training on how to work on these tools remotely. So it's a good training that you can also access. Quickly, we are going back to Google Form. Okay, let's go back to Google Form. So now the next thing there is the icon of the document you are working with. If it is form, you see the icon of a form and you see the name, forms. If you are choosing document, you see it, an document icon, and you see the name, docs. Okay, but because you are working with form, that is why it is displaying in this format. The next thing is start a new form. And there are three that I have made mention of methods you can use to start a new form. Now, I want to choose from template. You see template gallery. Now, when you click on template gallery, it will display all the templates available in stock. Okay. Now, there are different type of templates. You can see it. The first are personal information like contacts, time, find the time, and other things, party invite. Okay, you see it here. This is party invite. This is contact information. Now, when you go to event, this is event registration. Now, when you go to work, a form you can use in your workplaces, you see event feedback, you see order form, you see job application form, and all these things are things it is good you go through them and see how they are being developed quickly. You see education. In the education, you see exit ticket, you see assignment, you see a worksheet, you see course evaluation. But our concern here is not on course evaluation. Our concern, all these things function alike, depends on how you program or how you develop them. Quickly, we'll be going into a blank quiz. Okay, it's a template already, so I hit the blank quiz button. Now, when I hit the blank quiz button, my quiz will display. Now, remember, we talk of after choosing your template, the next thing you're going to do is to rename your form. Now, here at the extreme left, you see it as Google. You see it as blank quiz. Okay, You see it as blank quiz. So the first thing we're going to do is to rename it. In renaming it, you can double click, or you just click on it at any point and begin to delete. Now I haven't deleted, you give it a name. This name, I want to title it Google Form, sorry, into Google Form tutorial 101. Okay. Now, after editing the name, that's it. You see here, you see things like question, you see responses, you see settings, and you see total point value. These are the features you're going to see in your quiz. Okay, this total point value is a unique feature in Google in quiz, unlike other Google forms. Now, the next thing we're going to look at quickly is, you see this blank quiz here. Now, this is the description of, we talked of describing your form. You see, this is the description of the form. Here, we want to say that this form will now be, sorry, okay, let's say Google Google tutorial 101 quiz. Okay, Google tutorial 101 quiz. Okay, now that's the name. Now, after giving it this name, this is what will appear when you send it to people. Okay, and this is the description. This description is also very important, and I want to add this. Please, only few, only take this quiz if only you have watched the if only you have watched the Google Form 2 tutorial 1, sorry, tutorial 101 training. Training. Or better still, contact facilitator, facilitator 0 0706895 280 for free training access. Okay, now this is the description. In this place, I've clicked here. I want to make it very bold. Okay, this is where you can do your formatting. You can format what you have written. Here also, I'll be making it bold and now on italics. Okay. After that, we are done with the description. Now that we are done with the description, let's look at our training guide and see what next. Okay. Okay, now we've chosen the method, we've renamed it, we've described it. Now we're going to start building. Okay, let's start building. That's where we are. Let's start building. Now, in building this form, we're going to take just we're going to take few questions. The question one we're going to consider is first, can 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 one access Google form with phone? Now, this is the question. So, in this question, we're going to give it options for the answers. And remember, take a look at this place. This place is showing multiple choice. Now we are not interested in multiple choice. So what we do is checkbox is what we prefer in this. Don't forget, there are questions that has multiple choice. You see A and B, you see A, B, C. You see, but in this, we want to consider using, we don't want to consider using multiple choice. We want to use just one checkbox. That's what. So in this option A, we want to say yes. Then you see add another option, or you click on add option or add another option to continue your options. You can do as many options as you can do. Okay, option 2 has become automatic. We want to edit it to no. Okay, now option 3, we want to say only possible, only possible with advanced tool. Only possible with advanced tools, which I'll be sharing these tools in the advanced training. Okay, now the third option we're going to here is option 1 and 3. Option 1 and 3. Okay, now these are the 4 options we're going to because of how I want to program this, we'll not be doing the option 4. Okay, now these 3 options are okay for me. Now, this is question 1 we're looking at. When I'm done with this, quickly what I'll do is, at the end part of it, you see answer key. You are seeing 0 points. You can also duplicate this. You can delete it. You can make it required. Required is, in a quiz, there are questions that are compulsory. There are questions that are not compulsory. When you make it required, you are saying that the question should be compulsory. Now I've made it required. Now, when you make a question required, we're going to review. When you make a question required and the person is open the link, the required questions has a symbol indication, which is with red asterisk. So when you open any quiz, look out for those questions that are compulsory. You see a description like in the beginning of the quiz, on the description, you see red asterisk indicate compulsory questions. Okay, red asterisk indicate compulsory questions. And I think this will form our question 2. What is the indication for a for a compulsory question in a in a form generally. In a form generally. Okay. You see it. Are you seeing this red asterisk now? Now we're going to choose option A, blue asterisk, red asterisk. Those without asterisk. Okay, these are the three options. Now we remember it's also required. Okay, because it's also required, we're going to look at this. Now the next thing we're going to do is assigning marks to this question. And in assigning mark to this question and other settings, depending on the question, is you go to, you see this answer key and points. So you click on it. When you click on it, this dialog box will open. Take note of it. The first thing highlighted here is the point. What point or how many marks are you going to give to this particular question? Let us say this particular one should go with 20. I mean 10 marks. Okay, 10 points. Now you come here, you see add answers feedback. This is compulsory, but I must warn you, this is very important to say. In answering answers feedback are those feedback somebody gets when asking, when answering, when a question is being answered. And this is only good if only you are setting a question in a page. That is when the person logs in, if the quiz has multiple pages and each question is situated in a page, you can do that. So when the person answers the first question, you will get a feedback if the question is correct or not. And then after getting the feedback, the person's automatically go to next to answer the next questions. Okay, but it will not be good if there are multiple questions in a page, because the person can go back, since so long as the person has not submitted the questions, the person can go back and answer the questions again. So there is no need for doing this at this point in time. So what you just do, since we've added our feedback, since we've added our point, we can just click on save. Okay, we can just click on save. Now there are a lot of things you can integrate in this point, and that will be done during the advanced training. Okay, so we're not adding the feedback answer. Now we are done with this, so we'll just click on done. Okay, because of assigned points to it. Now here is showing 10 points. Now quickly, let's go to the second question. Okay, the second question here, there is no point assigned to it first, so we're going to come here and do the assigned point. Here, let's give it 5 points instead of 10 points. Okay, and we'll just click done. Okay, now we want to add more questions to this form. Now remember, the first things we did was we duplicated. This is duplicate. We duplicated the first question. Now we don't want to duplicate any first question again. There is a slide bar at the right part of each question you click. Okay, now when you click question 1, the bar moves to, this is the bar. It moves to the second, it moves to the first question. When you click it in the second question, it moves there. Depending on where you want to insert your next question. If you want to insert your question before the second question or immediately after the first question, you click on the first question. So only click the questions to which you want to insert the next questions under it. Now I want to insert the next question under question 2. So there is a plus sign here. You see add question. You see another arrow. You see another arrow like import questions. Maybe you have questions somewhere, you can import it. You see another options and so many other options depending on how you want to design your quiz. So we want to add another option. Now another option has been added. Now we're going to type the question. The typing the question is you can you can build, okay, let's see, you can develop the following with Google Form, except with Google Form, except dash. Except dash. Okay. Now that is a question. And take note of this. Here we don't want to use multiple choice. So we will still go back to checkbox. There are a lot of options there. Remember, we're using checkbox because we are looking at a quiz. And the option 1 is contact form. Option 2 is survey form. Option 3 is exam questionnaire. Okay, let us remove the exam. Let us just say questionnaire. Option 4 is none of the above. Okay, please take note of the question. Understand your question well so that you can also know the type of options you are giving. You can develop the following with Google Form except that. So none of the following simply indicate that there is no one here you cannot develop with Google Form. There is no one here you cannot develop with Google Form. Okay, now that we are done with these 3 questions, we're going to just do with these 3 questions. We want to assign a point to it. So you come here and click answer key. In this answer key, you just let's assign 5 more points and we'll click done. Now there is something we want to do. There is something we've not done. Okay, now we want to make this one required. It's also compulsory, 5 points now. Now there is something we will have to do which we've not done. You know, in a quiz question, there are wrong answers and answers that are correct. In this, now we want to specify which answer is correct to ascertain what the person will be getting at the end of the day. Should in case the person choose any question, what will determine if the person gets the answer correct or not is you at this point. So quickly, let's go to question 1. You see answer key. In the answer key, you see choose one. You say choose correct answer. Choose correct answer. We've assigned points, and I want to choose the correct answer. Here is, can one access Google Form with phone? The answer is only possible with advanced tools. Okay, whosoever chooses this is correct. Whosoever chooses no is also correct. So 2 answers are correct here. 2 answers are correct here. We'll click on done. Okay, now that we are done with that, let's go to question 2. Question 2 say, what is the indication for a compulsory question in a form? We see blue asterisk, we see red asterisk, we see those without asterisk. The right question here is, okay, sorry. When we go to question 2, we go to add a answer key again. You will not say choose the correct answer. The right answer here is red asterisk. Only one option is correct. Now we'll now go to the last question. Which is, you can develop the following with Google Form except this option, which is none of the above. In this, remember, we still have to click the question and click on answer key to set the right answer. None of the above is the question. It means there is none of these that you cannot develop with Google Form. You can develop all of the above with Google Form. Now you can also confuse this person by saying all of the above. It means that all of the above, it means you cannot develop any of them with you cannot develop any of them with Google form. Okay, now let's add it again. All of the above. Let's add it. All of of the all of the above. Okay, all of the above will come here and we click. We just click any space that has been added to it. Now, for instance, you add multiple questions. Let me also mention this. For instance, you add multiple questions, options that you don't desire. You see in each of the options, there is a bar here, like a times, a multiplication sign. You see it like remove. You can remove the option. Now you can remove all your options. You can just keep removing. You can just keep removing. But in this case, we don't want to keep removing. So we bring our options back to all of the above. You can just undo, okay? You can just undo. Now, this is it. Undo reverses your question. You see the undo here and the redo here. The next thing you will be looking at is your theme and your preview. You can preview your question. Now you look at it, total point here is 20. That is the 20 total mark for anybody that will answer this who is 20. Now here is response, here is setting. Quickly, we are done with this. Because we are done with this, what we're going to this, because if your data is on, or what you're doing on your Google form is auto save. And that's why you see all changes here. You see here, you're going to see all changes saved in Drive. All changes saved in Drive. Okay. Now, because all these things is done, we can just click send. This point, we want to get the link to this quiz. When we get the link to this quiz, you just click on send. Now there are also 3 dots on this. 3 dots, you click on more. You can make a copy of this. You can make a copy of this. You can delete it. You can get pre-filled link. You can print this questionnaire. You can add collaborator and all that. We'll be looking at all these things in the advanced training and how to use them effectively. Okay. So quickly, our interest into send. We want to share this link now to people. So quickly, we'll click on send. When we click on send, the send box will appear. This send box there is collect email address. Collect email address from those that answer the question. The options here is do not collect email address. But for this, we want to collect their email address. So that, for instance, we have those that have, maybe, remember, these questions, we program it, it's supposed to be for only those that have attended this tutorial. And maybe I have a registration platform for those that have attended the tutorial with their Google form. So we will now advise them to only fill the form with their registered email address during the tutorial class. Their registered email address during the tutorial class. So there we will now click verified email. Okay, and this verified email will only be Google email. Remember, we don't want to send it to people through email. You can also send it through email where you add their email address here. Let's say article to facilitator, article to facilitator Z at gmail.com. So with this, you can just send it to multiple people via mail. But our concern is not just to send it to via mail. You can include a form in the email, but we also want to copy the link. Okay, first we'll do send. This is the first way to share your link. Now this person will receive the email. Now the second way is when you click on send, you copy, you go to this link. You see this sign is the link. You see it, link. You copy the link. You can shorten the link if you feel it's too much. You click on shorten link. You shorten the link. Now you click on copy. Now the next one is the embedded HTML link. This one is for programmers. It's not basically for you. For those who want to embed a link in their website or in short in a website. Okay, but that's not for us. So we will now close since we've copied the link. Now we want to now test how this look like. So I'm going to open another page and paste the link here. When I paste the link, now the form will open. Now this is the form. Okay, The form is loading. The form is loading. Now, this is the form. Look at the form now. Google Form Tutorial 101 quiz. You say, please only take this quiz if only you have watched the Google Form Tutorial 101 training. Or better still, contact facilitator Zeal on this number for free training access. All right, this is my email that I'm using to fill. This is the email I want to use in filling this form. This email, remember this, indicates required question. Red asterisk indicates required question. That is questions that are compulsory. Okay. Email to be recorded. This as the email to be included with your response. Okay. This is the email to be included in your response. You can also decide to use a different email by switching accounts here. Okay. Now, the questions, remember, when you see, look at this question, and you see red asterisk by the side indicating that it's compulsory, you will not see the point. Now, the question is, can one access Google Form with phone? Only possible in advanced option. Okay, only possible in advanced option. Now, I'm going to fill some of the questions so that you see how the analysis will look like. Now, what is the indication for compulsory question in form? We know that it's supposed to be red asterisk, but let us choose blue asterisk in this case. Let us choose blue asterisk in this case. Now, you can develop the following with Google Form, except this. The right question is none of the above. Okay, now we're going to submit. When you submit this, this is what will appear here. Your response has been recorded. You can customize this message. That will be done in the advanced training. You can customize this message. Now you can view your score. You can click on view your score. Now this is your score. Can one access Google Form with this 0 point? Because why it is showing 0 point? This is not, it doesn't mean that it's not correct. Why it's showing 0 point is because remember in the setting, we set it that anybody that must be correct must be someone that choose two options. Must be someone that choose two options. That is why it is like this. Now, correct answer are no and only possible. These are the two correct answers. So you must tick these two correct answers. This one, I also failed it. I also failed it. I choose blue asterisk, which is not correct. So I've lost 5 marks. I've lost 10 marks there. Okay, now in this one, none of the above is correct. So I've gotten 5 marks. You see 5 over 5. So at this point, you see your total mark. My total mark here should now be 5 over. My total mark now will be 5 over 5. That is all what I've got. I mean, 5 over 20. That's what I've gotten in the total mark. You see it here. Total points is 5 over 20 at the top. 5 over 20. So this is all about Google Form and how to develop a Google Form and how to share it. Now, the next thing will be getting analysis and result and response. Now, because somebody has filled this form, when we go back to the page where we are developing the form, you see responses, you see 1. It means somebody has filled this form and they have submitted. Now, we want to view this response and analyze the result. So we'll quickly click on it. You see here. Now, you see here, insight, average and median point and range, 5 points, 5 to 5 points, 5 over 20 points. That's the people that have answered it. All the total points they've gotten is 5 out of the total 20 points to be answered based on how many people that have answered the question. Okay, now the next thing here is frequency missed questions. Okay, these are questions that are missed. These are the total score. This person, remember, this is the email address of this person, because we are not taking their names. We will not include in the form where they will write their name, where they will write their phone number. How to know, identify that it is so person that answers so question is by their email address in the advanced training. So in this case, first I must mention what you have to do is let the people know that the email address you'll be using to grade them is the email address they've registered in the training. So you inform them so that they will not use an email address that you did not recognize or that you did not know. Is that clear? Now, we've gotten all the insights we need to get in this. Okay, so at this point, thank you very much for being with me till this point. Okay, now quickly, we want to review the questions so that we can add, remember, so that we can add where they will write their name and their surname. Okay, so we're going to add question. When we click on add question, remember we said the question you are adding will appear next to the questions that you are already working on. Now, you can move this question. You can rearrange them. I can move it downward. You can move it up. So I want it to be the first question ever. So now I will just come here and type your full name. Your full name here. Now, and make it a short answer. Remember, a short answer. There are paragraphs, there are short answers, there are multiple. Now, I want to just do a short answer so that the person can type in his or her name. In this doesn't have a point. Or you can also not make it compulsory. When you did not make it compulsory, it means the person has an option to either put his name or not. But we want to make it compulsory because it's the source of identifying them. And we want to give it any mark. So it is totally 0 mark. And now we'll that is all we need for this. So when we've done this, automatically it will update in the other link you have sent. Okay, so what the persons need to just do is to come back to the page where he or she has filled the form and refresh. Okay, the person will come back and reload. Now, when the link is reloaded, the person can now go back to submitting another form. Okay, the person can just go back. There are 2 pages here. This is the to view your score. Now you go back to the question and say submit another option. When this person wants to submit another option, you see it that the other option, the other questions we added is not there. What's your full name? So the person can now add his full name to be Benjamin Zilos. Okay, and the person starts answering. Remember this question, to get the 10 points, you have to tick no and this for this first question. In the second question, you do red asterisk to be the right answer. In the other question, you see none of the above, you submit. Now, when I've submitted, oh, they are telling me that this is required also. I must tick this email address. Now that I've ticked, I come back and submit. Now that I've submitted, let's go back to the page where we are setting the question. You now see 2 response. Now you can go back to the 2 response. Before going back to the 2 response, you now see total points 12.5 over 20 points. You see minimum 5 over 20, 5 over 20. This is the insight. Okay, this is the insight. You will now see 2 persons have submitted, but the same email address. Remember, so this one is the first email address. This is now tagged as email address 1. This is the score of the person. So you cannot tabulate these things. In the advanced training, I'll be teaching you how you can do this without going to walk over this, how to just extract these things and to your result sheet. That's what I will be teaching you in the one of the things I'll be teaching you in the advanced training. Now we are done with this. I believe we got it correct. But quickly, let's review our score. You know, we have answered this question. Let's view our score. In viewing our score, you see this score. Because I take the 2, it means I've gotten my 10 points. Okay, I've gotten my 10 points. Here, you can decide to give this person half mark here. This is based on your choice. You can decide to give this person half mark here because if, like the first attempt you made, that we just got the first part of the question. You can decide to give the person half mark. So these are how to grade people, how to set a quiz, and how to grade people. Thank you very much for being part of the training. Let's see if we are done with our scheme for this training. Okay, we are done with it. So I hope you are good to go in developing your quiz questions. And I want to thank you for being part of this training. Also, I am grateful, and I will encourage you to go for the advanced training. I teach people how to use Google Tools. I teach people how to use Google Tools. Okay, I teach people how to use Google Tools. In short, if time will permit me, let me go back to where I'm setting the page for this question, and let me see if I have a picture of this question development. Now, in this place, let me go to settings. I'm going back to questions. Back to question. In this place, I want to insert a picture, add an image. Okay. Now, if time permits me, I want to pick the email from upload. Let me go to browse and see the picture I want to use for this. I hope time will permit me. Just hope time will permit me on this. Desktop, 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 desktop. Let's go to this. Upload to site. Is there anything like that here? Uh, let's go back. Upload to site. Is there any? Yeah, upload to site. Okay, let me see. Any image that I can use here? Image is display. Oh, I want you to be displayed. The image I'm looking for is not there. Okay, because the image I'm looking for is not there. Let me just use this image. This is one of my training on digital security. Let me just add this image. But remember, you should add an image that relates to what you are doing. Okay. Now let me crop the image. I don't want all the part of the image to show, so let me crop it. Okay. Not. Okay, whatsoever being the case, let me delete the image. Let me just delete that section. Let me just delete it. Okay, this is where to delete your questions and your sections. So you can delete them. So I'm deleting it because I think there is no need for it. Remember, all my changes are auto saved. Okay, so I want to say very, very big thank you for such a wonderful opportunity to listening to me. Okay, to listening to me. I want to appreciate you so far. I remain facilitator Zeal, your boy. I could be your friend. I could be your trainer over time. I could be your mentor. I could be your one of your business strategies. I could be your consultant, whichever one I am to you. And you're watching me. I want to say a big thank you. I'm very happy that you're part of this training. And I know that you've learned a lot from this training. If you have any question, my phone number is there. Always do well to contact me. Thank you very much for being with me. God bless your day. I want to apologize for the song that is playing. I get inspiration from songs like this. So I enjoy them. When it is in this motion, I enjoy it. All right. Thank you very much.